Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktirbhavati Naishtiti. Om Gnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4 Chapter 20 Verse 31. Tvanmayaya Adha Janah Nisha Khanditah Yat Anyad Ashaste Rita Atmana Abuddha Yatha Chared Balahitam Pita Swayam Tatha Tvam Eva Arhasi Na Samihitum. My Lord, due to your illusory energy, Mayaya, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position. And out of ignorance, they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Hmm. Due to Maya, everybody's forgotten their real constitutional position, which is that they are servants of Krishna, and out of ignorance, always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you. But as a father, not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son. Please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me. So Prahlad Maharaj also says, don't offer me material benefits. I'm born in the family of asuras, so I will fall down. Of course, they are not at that stage to fall down, but it's for all of us. Don't take material benefits. Don't give me material benefits. And he says like you 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 bestow whatever you think is best for me. Why should I ask? It is the duty of the son to depend upon his father without asking anything from him. The good son has faith that the father knows best how to benefit him. Similarly, a pure devotee does not ask anything from the Lord for material benefit, nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. The pure devotee is fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord takes charge of him. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami. Father knows the necessities of the son and supplies them, and the Supreme Lord knows the necessities of the living entities and supplies them sumptuously. Therefore, the Ishopanishad states that everything in this world is complete. Purnamidam. The difficulty is that due to forgetfulness, the living entities create unnecessary demands and entangle themselves in material activities. The result is that there is no end to material activities, life after life. Prabhupada is saying that pure devotee does not ask anything for material benefit nor for spiritual benefit. He just asks for service. There is nothing like spiritual benefit. Just asking for service, asking for devotee association. Mm. So those are actually not desires at all. But not like I have to for spiritual benefit. We again there is gradation here, meaning different people at different stages. Um, initially people ask for material benefits, then you can ask for spiritual benefits. Eventually, we will not ask for anything. But we have to come to that stage naturally. And we should understand that we should go towards that stage. We should not get stuck in whatever lower stages we might be in. Before us, there are varieties of living entities, and everyone is entangled in transmigrations and activities. Our duty is simply to surrender unto the Supreme Lord and let Him take charge. For He knows what is good for us. So this is the ultimate. Just depend on Him. He knows. Prthu Maharaj therefore tells the Lord that as Supreme Father, He may elect to bestow whatever He considers beneficial for Prthu Maharaj. That is the perfect position of the living entity. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us in Sikshastaka. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor have I any desire to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. So, like I said, asking for pure devotional service is not desire, it is desirelessness only. The conclusion is that the pure devotee should not aspire any material benefit from devotional service, nor should he be enamored by fruity activities or philosophical speculation. He should always be engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. That's all. So we should come to the stage of not asking anything from the Lord. He knows. He knows. And pure devotee does not ask because he knows that the Lord knows and he has faith. He has faith. Mm. He knows that the Lord knows and he has faith in that. Mm. So he doesn't bother. He just continue, like Prabhupada is saying here, is just engage favorably in service of the Lord. That's all. And to be able to engage favorably, that we pray every day during chanting. Please give me service. Please give me service means actually, please give me pure devotional service. That's what we are praying for. Meaning this, Anya Vilashara Shunyam Gnana Karma Danavratam Anukulyana Krishna Anusedanam. This is what we are praying when we chant. Maitreya Vacha Iti Adi Rajena Nuta Sa Vishvadrik Tam Aha Rajanmai Bhaktirastute Dishte Drishi Dhir Mahite Kritayaya Ayamadiyam Taratis Madustyajam. A great sage Maitreya continued by saying that the Lord, the seer of the universe, after hearing Prthu Maharaj's prayer, addressed the king. My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. Only by such purity of purpose, as you yourself very intelligently express, can one cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya. May you be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. Only such purity of purpose, again, purity of purpose. We should have purity of purpose, which is pure devotion. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord claims that the illusory energy is insurmountable. Maya Durathyaya. No one can transcend the illusory energy of Maya by fruitive activity, speculative philosophy, or mystic yoga. Mameva ye prapadyante. The only means for transcending illusory energy is devotional service, as the Lord Himself states. Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. If one wants to cross over the ocean of material existence, there is no alternative than to take to devotional service. A devotee therefore should not care for any material position, whether in heaven or in hell. Pure devotee should always engage in the service of the Lord, for that is his real occupation. Savepam sam paro dharma. Simply by sticking to that position, one can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. So the important part here is sticking to that position. So today we are all, we keep discussing, we are all under grips of Maya, different different ways of bondage, different intensity of bondage, etc. But we should simply stick to our devotional service and we can overcome the stringent laws in course of time. Only thing we have to be worried about is our anarthas, our material inclination should not become an obstacle in our bhakti. As long as we are sincerely and seriously trying to practice bhakti, taking shelter of devotees, and doing our sadhana as expected, then we can overcome. In course of time, we will overcome the stringent laws of material nature. How do we know we will overcome? Because Lord here is blessing Prthu Maharaj. May you be blessed. And he's saying only by such purity of purpose. You have purity of purpose, so you will cross over. So we will overcome the stringent laws. But we should have purity of purpose. Tattvam kuru mayadishtam apramatta prajapate mad adesha karo loka sarvatrapnoti shobhanam. My dear king or protector of the citizens, henceforward be very careful to execute my orders and not be misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. Hmm. Simply carrying out my orders faithfully. The sum and substance of religious life is to execute the orders of the Supreme Person of Godhead. And one who does so is perfectly religious. The Bhagavad Gita Supreme Lord says, Manmana bhavamad bhaktaha, just think of me always and become my devotee. Furthermore, Lord says, Sarvadharman parityaja sharanam vraja. Give up all kinds of material engagement. See, Prabhupada is now saying explicitly. Give up all dharma means give up vritti dharma, varnashrama dharma. Give up all kinds of material engagement. Simply surrender unto me. This is the primary principle of religion. Anyone who directly executes such an order from the person of God is actually a religious person. Others are described as pretenders, for there are many activities going on throughout the world in the name of religion, which are not actually religious. For one who executes the order of the Supreme Lord, however, there is only good fortune throughout the world. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado. So how do we know what are the orders of Krishna? Follow the orders of Guru. How do we know what are the orders of Guru? Hear from Guru. And this is the only good fortune. Hmm. Throughout the world, you'll always find good fortune all over the world. Simply carrying out orders. Um, and these orders are there in each and every line of Prabhupada's books. Each and every line there's an order. In some cases it's direct order, some cases it's indirect order. But all these instructions are there. And simply we have to try to carry out these orders. That's all. Like I was saying yesterday, Prabhupada saying distribute books, then we should try to distribute books. Simple. Just simply try to follow. And we may or may not be able to follow, but we can just try. There is no loss in trying. In fact, we are only going to gain. But unfortunately, devotees don't seem to understand this. I see many devotees are reluctant to do book distribution. I don't know. Uh, of course, I mean, reluctance is natural. But we should understand saying that, this is for our ultimate benefit. Because Prabhupada is going to be super pleased with our efforts. Mm. And today in our book distribution group, there's one message saying that leaders should always try to find ways and means to do book distribution. Mm. So we should try. We should try. Just simply carrying out orders faithfully. Please remember this. Simply carrying out orders faithfully and find good fortune. Maitreya Uvacha. Iti vainyasya rajarshe pratinandyarthavadvachah pujito anugrihi gantum chakre chutomatim. Great Saint Maitreya told Vidura, Supreme Person of God had amply appreciated the meaningful prayers of Maharaja Prthu. Lord appreciated, meaning they were not pretentious, they were true, and Maharaja Prthu was true to his words. Thus, after being properly worshipped by the king, Lord blessed him and decided to depart. Most important in this verse are the words Prati Nandyarthavad Vachaha, which indicate that the Lord appreciated the very meaningful prayers of the king. When a devotee prays to the Lord, it is not to ask for material benefits. But to ask the Lord for his favor, he prays that he may be engaged in the service of the Lord's lotus feet birth after birth. Lord Chaitanya therefore used the words Mama Janmani Janmani, which means birth after birth. Because the devotee is not even interested in stopping the repetition of birth. Lord and the devotee appear in this world birth after birth. But such births are transcendental. The fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord informed Arjuna that both he and Arjuna had undergone many, many births previously, but the Lord remembered everything about them, whereas Arjuna had forgotten. The Lord and his confidential devotees appear many times to fulfill the Lord's mission. But since such births are transcendental, they are not accompanied by the miserable conditions of material birth, and they are therefore called divya, transcendental. Of course, though it looks material to us because we are conditioned, but confidential devotees, they don't undergo any miserable conditions of material life. One must understand the transcendental birth of the Lord and the devotee. The purpose of the Lord's taking birth is to establish devotional service, which is the perfect system of religion. And the purpose of the devotee, birth of a devotee, is to broadcast the same system of religion or the bhakti cult all over the world. So the Lord establishes the path and the devotee propagates the path, broadcasts the path. Prthu Maharaj was an incarnation of the power of the Lord to spread the bhakti cult. And the Lord blessed him to remain fixed in his position. Thus, when the king refused to accept any material benediction, the Lord appreciated that refusal very much. So we should not think, oh, Lord is saying, oh, what will he might feel bad if I say no. No, Lord will be testing us. If he's giving us material benedictions, he's testing us. We should know this. Another significant word in this verse is Achyuta, which means infallible. Although the Lord appears in his material world, he is never to be considered one of the conditioned souls who are all fallible, meaning fall down. Fallible means fall down. The Lord appears, he remains in his spiritual position, uncontaminated by the modes of material nature, and therefore in Bhagavad Gita, Lord expresses the quality of his appearance as Atma Mayaya, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya, performed by internal potency. The Lord, being infallible, is not forced by material nature to take birth in this material world. He appears in order to re-establish the perfect order of religious principles and to vanquish the demonic influence in human society. So he sends his acharyas, his commanders. He sends acharyas, his commanders, confidential devotees to promote, to propagate the system. And what is that system supposed to do? It's supposed to establish the perfect order of religious principles and vanquish demonic influence. And the path is shown by the acharyas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Srila Prabhupada came, he has given us the path. All we have to do is simply follow it. Devarshi Pitru Gandharva Siddha Charana Pannaga Kinnara Saraso Matyaha Khaga Bhutanyanekashaha Yagneshwarathiya Ragna Vagvitanjali Bhaktitaha Sabhajita Yayu Sarve Vaikunthanugatastatah. King Prthu worshipped the demigods, the great sages, inhabitants of Pitraloka, inhabitants of Gandharvaloka, Siddhaloka, Charanaloka, Pannagaloka, Kinnaraloka, Apsaraloka, earthly planets, and the planets of the birds. He also worshipped many other living entities who presented themselves in the sacrificial arena. With folded hands, he worshipped all these as well as the Supreme Lord and the personal associates of the Lord by offering sweet words and as much wealth as possible. After this function, they all went back to their respective abodes, following in the footsteps of Lord Vishnu. In modern so-called scientific society, the idea is very prevalent that there is no life on other planets, but that only on this earth do living entities with intelligence and scientific knowledge exist. The Vedic literatures, however, do not accept this foolish theory. The followers of Vedic wisdom are fully aware of various planets inhabited by varieties of living entities such as demigods, sages, pitas, gandharvas, pannagas, kinnaras, charanas, siddhas, apsaras. Vedas give information that in all planets there are varieties of living entities, not only in the material sky but also in the spiritual sky. Although all these living entities are of one spiritual nature, in quality the same as the Supreme Lord, they have varieties of bodies due to embodiment of the spirit soul by the 8 material elements. namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. In the spiritual world, however, there is no such distinction between the body and the embodied. In the material world, distinctive features are manifested in different types of bodies in the various planets. We have full information from the Vedic literature that in each and every planet, both material and spiritual, there are living entities of varied intelligence. The Earth is one of the planets of the Bhur-Loka planetary system. There are 6 planetary systems above Bhur-Loka and 7 planetary systems below it. And these are not planets, these are planetary systems. Therefore, the entire universe is known as Chaturdasha Bhuvana, indicating that it has 14 different planetary systems. Beyond the planetary systems in the material sky, there's another sky known as Paravyoma, spiritual sky, where there are spiritual planets. The inhabitants of those planets engage in varieties of loving service unto the Supreme Person of Godhead, which include different rasas or relationships known as Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, and above all, Parakya. This Parakya rasa or paramour love is prevalent in Krishna Loka, where Lord Krishna lives. This planet is also called Goloka, Vrindavana. And although Lord Krishna lives there perpetually, he also expands himself in millions and trillions of forms. In one of such forms, he appears on this material planet in a particular place known as Vrindavan Dham, where he displays his original pastimes of Goloka Vrindavana Dham in the spiritual sky in order to attract the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. Of course, he comes himself, and then when he in Vrindavan, and then when he goes to Mathura, Dwarka, etc., that's his expansions. Vasudeva Krishna. भगवानपि राजर्षे सोपाध्यायस्य चाच्युतः हरन्निव मनोमुष्य swadhama pratyapadyata. The infallible Supreme Person of Godhead, having captivated the minds of the king and the priests who were present, returned to his abode in the spiritual sky. Krishna captivates everybody's minds. Because the Supreme Lord is all spiritual, he can descend from the spiritual sky without changing his body, and thus he is known as Achyuta. When a living entity falls down to the material world, however, he has to accept a material body. And therefore, in his material embodiment, he cannot be called Achyuta. Because he falls down from his real engagement in the service of the Lord, the living entity gets a material body to suffer or try to enjoy in the miserable conditions of life, material conditions of life. Therefore, the fallen living entity is Chuta, whereas the Lord is called Achyuta. The Lord was attractive for everyone, not only the king but also the priestly order, who are very much addicted to performance of Vedic rituals. Because the Lord is all attractive, he is called Krishna, or one who attracts everyone. The Lord appeared in the sacrificial arena of Maharaja Prthu as Kshiroda Kashai Vishnu, who is a plenary portion of Lord Krishna. He is the second incarnation from Karanoda Kashai Vishnu, who is the origin of material creation and who expands as Garbhoda Kashai Vishnu, who then enters into each and every universe. Kshiroda Kashai Vishnu is the one of the Purushas who control the modes of material nature. So we call him Vishnu. Generally, when we call him Vishnu, he is Kshiroda Kashai Vishnu. He is the controller of Sattva-guna. And also, earlier in Bhagavatam, we know that Kshiroda Kashai Vishnu is the source of all incarnations in the material world. All incarnations come from Kshiroda Kashai Vishnu because he is the maintainer. Okay, so we are all Chuta and the Lord is Achyuta. But we also have to raise above this fallen condition. Yeah, and our mind today is captivated by various things, material things. So one of the very powerful methods to captivate our minds is to hear about Krishna. So when we hear about Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, qualities, etc., we get attracted. Mind becomes captivated. So in Bhagavatam, first canto, earlier chapters, it is said that by engaging in Shravanam, one becomes captivated. One has to become captivated, absorbed. So have we should have our mind being captivated by some aspect of Krishna. His nama, rupa, guna, leela, something should captivate our mind. And the Lord is all attractive. He attracts everyone. Like we discussed yesterday, Lord attracts everyone. Lord's name also has to attract everyone. Mm. Adrishtaya namaskritya nripah sandarshitatmane avyaktāya cha devanam devāya svapuram yayau. King Prthu then offered his respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, who is the Supreme Lord of all demigods. Although he is not an object of material vision, the Lord revealed himself to the sight of Maharaj Prthu. After offering obeisances to the Lord, the king returned to his home. The Supreme Lord is not visible to material eyes, but when the material senses are inclined to the transcendental loving service of the Lord and thus purified, the Lord reveals himself to the vision of the devotee. Swayam eva spuratyada premanjana bhakti vilocena santas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Avyakta means unmanifested. Although the material world is the creation of the Supreme Person of Godhead, he is unmanifested to material eyes. Maharaja Prthu, however, developed spiritual eyes by his pure devotional service. So, Krishna's pastimes are called Prakata and Aprakata. Prakata means manifested, Aprakata means unmanifested. Now, when the Lord manifests his pastime, actually, we understand that the Lord is so merciful that even unqualified people will be able to see physically the Lord during his Prakata pastimes. Meaning, whenever he comes, once in the day of Brahma, all jivas get an opportunity to see Krishna. But after his pastime, after the time is over, he becomes aprakata. Now, aprakata means he becomes invisible to those who are not qualified to see him. And those who got that special mercy to see him when he had manifested, they stop seeing him. That is aprakata. But the pure devotee with spiritual eyes can see him all the time. Not just within the heart. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu. He is seeing within the heart, not only within the heart, but he is also seeing the Supreme Lord eye to eye, face to face. Therefore, the Lord is described as Sandarshitatma, for he reveals himself to the vision of the devotee, although he is not visible to ordinary eyes. But it is the nature of Krishna's love that Krishna hides himself, does not show himself up to even the qualified devotee. Like we know in our Goswamis, they were always crying, Krishna, where are you? Radha, where are you? What does it mean? Does it mean that they were not able to see them? Of course, they were able to see them. They were able to see them, and then Krishna hides himself. And then there is viraha, there is feeling of separation. But then our acharyas say that even that feeling of separation is ecstasy. It's not pain like of this material world, it is ecstasy. And Krishna also tells in Bhagavatam 10th canto, he reveals saying that I became invisible to you just to increase your anchoring for me. Bhagavatam elsewhere says that the more we hanker, we have to hanker for Krishna. The more we hanker, the more we will get detached from material attachment automatically. All we have to do is simply hanker for Lord's association, irrespective of where we are. Hankering for Lord's association means service. Because as soon as the Lord becomes visible, then we are going to do service. So we are always going to do service. Our eternal position is to do service. But then one might ask, okay, then why should we see the Lord? Uh, why should we see the Lord? Because that is the perfection of our vision. The power of vision that Krishna has given us, that achieves perfection when we see the beautiful form of the Lord. One more purport, Prabhupada says that because we have not been able to, we've been searching for this beautiful form of the Lord, and because we have not got it, we are running behind other so-called beautiful things of this material world. But nothing else can actually satisfy our mind but the vision of the beautiful form of the Lord. Mm. And initially, for all of us who are, in the early stages of sadhana bhakti, just by hearing about the Lord, by making a mental picture of the Lord, we actually associate with Him, because the Lord is non-different from His. About Krishna, whatever we hear about Krishna is also non-different from Him. And this is the process to achieve samadhi. Constant association with the Lord is to hear about Krishna. And actually, I've been realizing of late that one of the most powerful methods to actually associate with Krishna is Chaitanya Charitamrita. In fact, every day I have a Kannada class where I'm going through Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. I don't know how much useful it is for others, but it's of immense use, immense benefit for me. Because there are so many topics in Chaitanya Charitamrita which actually cannot be discussed. Because they're all esoteric, very, very intimate pastimes of Krishna and Radha. We cannot discuss everything, but when we read, we feel, deeply connected with Krishna. And every day, I'm experiencing this. Whenever I have this Chaitanya Charitamrita reading session, next day morning, I feel like some happiness, and I wonder why. And then I realize, oh, some contact with Radha and Krishna yesterday. What was it? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hmm. Otherwise, we can't actually get that association. So it's very, very powerful. Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is why it is the perfection. Even after we finish, we read Srimad Bhagavatam, even in the 10th canto, we can't come to the platform of Madhurya. We will just, yeah, Krishna Bhakti, possibly more of Balya Leela, Vatsalya Bhava, more of Vatsalya Bhava we can experience in Bhagavatam. Not even Sakya. Yes, a little bit here and there. Sakya is also there. Um, but we can't understand Madhurya. We hear, okay, gopis are showing their love for Krishna, etc. But we can't really understand much. And it's like a very fast, uh, you know, story. I mean, it's just like it doesn't, like, at least in my stage of spiritual maturity, not being able to go very deeply into the topics there. But Chaitanya Charitamrita is very easy. Very easily we can enter into this mode of Madhurya Rasa. The Lord, He reveals Himself through our Acharyas. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is so merciful that he is actually bringing us in touch with Radha and Krishna through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. So it's very nice. So all of us have to have Chaitanya Charitamrita. All of us have to have first Bhagavatam, and then not keeping it as it is. We should do seva to Bhagavatam every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And then definitely, at least after we have completed Bhagavatam at least once, we should start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. I remember first time I read it about 12 years back, and I couldn't understand a word. Literally, I mean, also because actually Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is in ecstasy when he's writing. So sometimes he's repeating the same things again and again, right? And that is because of his devotional ecstasy. So sometimes the sequences are all out of order. He's speaking something else, suddenly he'll speak something else. We can't really follow much. And now after these many years, then we can realize that there's so much of bliss nectar in that, and that is why it is Amrita. So everybody should have Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's mercy, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Mm, at home, mm, make mercy, make our house as house of mercy. We have Krishna's mercy, we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we have all Acharya's mercy, Guru's mercy, and we just survive on mercy. Right? So we should have, and we should daily read. We should daily read. That's the most powerful way to purify our existence. Read. And I'm happy that so many devotees actually join. Of course, Saturday, for some reason, the attendance is less. Maybe people think Saturday means chill day. Right, I don't know. Anyway, it's up to people if they want to join. But I thought Saturday will be like more people can join because every day people are working. But either way, anyway, so many of you are joining every day and absorbing yourself in Srimad Bhagavatam, so which is very nice. More time we give to read, then we will also get inspired to distribute, and then that is more mercy. So all of you please try. Uh, every house has to have Bhagavatam. So we want to. So we've decided the thing that we are not going to end Bhagavatam distribution in marathon. This is going to happen year throughout the year. So we're going to start a new program from next year, which is like we are doing Deep Dan in only Kartik, right? Now we are going to do like I'm still thinking of a name, but some like something connected to Bhagavatam. We have to name. If any of you have some thoughts, you can share. Every month there's going to be a theme, which is the theme of the festival of that month. So, for example, February will be Varaha Dvadashi and Varaha Dev and Nityananda Prabhu. Like that, every month. April will be Ram Navami, May will be Narsimha Leela, and so on. Right, full year we are going to have a calendar. And what is the idea? And the idea is that in Kartik we go and we keep Damodar photo, and then we let people offer Aarti, ghee lamps to Damodar. Now, in all these programs, we are going to worship Srimad Bhagavatam. And we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam. Many of these topics are there in Bhagavatam. So we're going to read from Bhagavatam and make that as an opportunity to actually distribute the mercy of Srimad Bhagavatam. What needs to be done is multiple programs need to be arranged like throughout the year. We should keep doing programs in different people's houses, and do this so that everybody comes in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam and gets its mercy. Okay, so that's our plan for next year. So all of you can participate, and it's very simple. Everybody just take the book Bhagavatam and start reading. We don't have to give some big class or anything. We should just give opportunity for people to come in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam. That's all. Right, and we'll structure some content, etc. So mostly it will be reading and giving a gist of some reading the Leela and giving the gist of some important philosophical points about Srimad Bhagavatam itself and about the specific Leela, like that, like some 2 or 3 sections will be there, and everybody can do it wherever you are. And we should try to do this and make sure that this mercy of Bhagavatam goes to every home. Okay, so I'll stop here. Any questions, comments? We didn't discuss much, but yeah, in case anybody has anything. Yeah, Shashank.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranam, Prabhu.
No.
Prabhu, 2 questions from my side. First question, we should not ask for spiritual benefit. It was mentioned.
Yeah.
So, just a confusion, like, if we ask for like sadhana to increase mosa, because I'll pray, Prabhu, like some hours
No.
for 6 hours. will that be on the same platform, or is it? I felt
No, we are
that,
asking for service. See, spiritual benefit means like, for example, like, wanting to achieve something spiritually. Like, actually, we are not taught to ask for any spiritual benefits. We just ask for more service, saying that okay, 6 hours of service is more service. Then we'll also ask saying that please purify me, please, so that the whole idea is to actually become acceptable for the Lord. That He should accept us, He should give us service. Anything in that direction is okay. The pure devotees, they've already reached that stage wherein they don't have to, they are already engaged in directly in Krishna's association in service, etc. They don't have to ask anything, they're just engaged in service. But it's not actually for us. For us, we have to pray. We have to pray, so that, and that's what we are doing. We are praying for service. Even pure devotees will pray for service. We, in addition to praying for service, we'll also pray for Krishna to give us mercy to remove obstacles in our life, so that we can make progress in bhakti, right? So that we can make progress. Yeah, like you are praying, okay, I want to come to 6 hours of bhakti, whatever. That is all absolutely perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong in that.
okay, Prabhu.
That's why I
Thanks.
said there are three levels. First is praying for material benefits. Second is praying for spiritual benefits. Third is not praying for spiritual benefits. So we'll be. I mean, hopefully we are not in the first stage. We should be in the second stage, and gradually, when we really make super progress, then we will not ask for that also.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Second
Thanks for.
question.
And second, second question. You had mentioned pastimes done in Goloka Vrindavana is same executed in material world. So even like in Goloka Vrindavana also, we can be part, or we can like Subala, or like we can also be there, Prabhu, like with Krishna.
We can't be
Uh,
them. We can't be them.
yeah.
Um, so these devotees are all, they are eternal, eternally existing. So we should not, actually, good question, because it's not correct for us to expect to become them, because they are already there. They're eternal and they are there. Those devotees of Krishna exist. So we can, what we can pray for is, okay, if we are attracted by Sakya Rasa, then you can say, okay, I want to assist Subala. And then we have to understand what does Subala do? How does he serve Krishna? So that is the Raganuga mark. There's still time. We have to come to the stage of actually completely becoming fixed in bhakti, then start hearing about Krishna more and more. Then we get attracted by some rasa. Then we get into the depth of that rasa. Then we'll try to read about those devotees who are serving Krishna in that rasa and try to understand how they are serving. Then we will decide saying that, okay, I want to serve Krishna as a assistant of this devotee, or assistant of this devotee. So then we will start following that devotee and his or her mood of devotion to Krishna, etc. So it's a long way to go.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thanks. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else? Okay. It's Rose then. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Devacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnava, Jai Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.